So nowadays, there is one specific cultural evolution, one specific factor that is making us as a humankind growing a lot, but it might have some drawbacks, some harms, some negative consequences that we are not aware of. If you read Harari is amazing. He's a very nice writer. He's able to make things simple in a well-founded way. I like him. He has done a lot for humankind. So Harari is mentioning how we transition from being hunter-gatherers, from living in forests, from basically surviving, from going and taking food, from being close to the nature, from being close to ourselves, to agricultural societies. He says like agricultural revolution was the biggest fraud of our history. I challenge you, Harari, for you this one. Are smartphones the biggest fraud, bigger than agricultural revolutions? If you stop to think about it, agricultural revolution had a lot of positive consequences. It made us grow as a society. It made us develop writing, develop money, develop laws. On the other hand, it took us a lot of our life, a lot of our spirituality probably. So we had to develop these religions, structured religions, bigger religions. So it has positive, negative, it's complicated, it's obscure. Now, with the smartphones, we are reaching next level of union because we are getting towards a global society. So we probably need a new religion, new beliefs, something more global. But on the individual level, if we don't experiment and if we don't develop this spiritual functioning of the human mind, of the human being, we are suffering the consequences of smartphones so deeply in the individual level. Although in the global level, in the society level, is positive, or it can have positive consequences, in the individual level is so harming. Like I notice it in myself. When I use the smartphone, I feel more lonely. My attention works worse. My life is sadder. I don't enjoy so much. I notice it in my meditation. I have more worries. I cannot experience the full present moment. It's very sad actually. Like we have to learn so much how to use smartphones in a conscious way, how to know why we are using the smartphone. It's a tool. It's like if you have a hammer, you are not using the hammer against everything you find in your room. So if you have a smartphone, be conscious of how you use the smartphone, why you are using, why you take it. Like if you are checking Instagram once and again, it's like why, what is the reason? You are harming yourself, you are seeing someone's life, someone's trip while you are alone in your room. And if you are with other people and you are looking at your smartphone, apart from disrespectful, you are not showing love to the person you have in front of you. It's like one human being sharing this specific present moment with you and you watch to the screen. It's a screen, it's an object more important than a person. These are like idols, fake idols. So we are venerating, we are adoring smartphones and we are losing the connections with each other, which is what happened in the agricultural revolution. We start venerating objects and we stop venerating each other. We stop deeply loving for agriculture after all, because the gods were about when to harvest and when to make the crops grow. So now it's similar, like we venerate these smartphones about how to be communicated, how to make the world progress, but we forget about each other so easily. And it harms us in the individual level so much, as I mentioned. Like I feel lonely. I suffer when I use the smartphone. I wrote somewhere like not having a smartphone is for rich people. Because actually, if you are rich, if you have money, you can pay someone else to make your meetings. You can pay someone else to look for your information, to arrange your flights. So that's the point. Maybe now we are in this transitioning moment again to find out more independent logarithms or more independent technologies that allows to connect with each other in a way it doesn't take our time. But that's the global debate. That's why everyone should be in this conversation, because it's risky. It's very risky. How much of our time, how much of our beings are we prone, do we want to give to machines that we don't understand? So we don't understand machines. Are we give them our lives to them? Do we want to make them decide who we meet? Do we want to make them decide when we meet, how we travel? We are already, Harari, this is half of what I'm saying is Harari. We are already deciding how to move through life thanks to machines. Because if you want to go to the supermarket and you don't know the way, you check Google Maps. So Google Maps decides for you. Even decides the supermarket if you don't know any. So to which point this is useful, as in the example of Google Maps, or to which point might not be so useful, when we prioritize the communication through the mean. So instead of talking directly with the person, we are chatting. And then is when we lose our life. Why not designing software? And this is a message for the software developers, that makes both calendars, both agendas of the two people to be arranged by itself, by the logarithm. And then they can say, okay, you have to meet, or you can meet this person at this time. And this person even can be found through the logarithm. If you are interested in drawing, in dance, in writing, in a specific author, in video filming, so why don't you look for, why don't the logarithm look for the person you are interested on and arrange your both calendars instead of you typing the message? Google is getting closer, but we need to reflect, we need to think, like, do we want to have this? Do we understand the technology enough to let them do so much? And I don't have answers. This is part of the global debate, which Harari talks so much a lot. If something I know and I can experience is like the way we use our screens and how addictive they are, how much they reduce our self-control, our willpower. It's harming us, it's making us suffer. So we have to, we really have to, and we need to develop technologies that allow us to have the positive effects, the benefits, without the negative consequences, without all this waste of time, without all this suffering, without all these increases of loneliness and this reduction of attention span and willpower. So please, software developers out there, help us develop a safe logarithm that allow us to connect with each other without wasting our time and lives in front of a screen. Do we want to see other people trip while we are alone in our room? Or do we want to meet with them so they can tell us their trip, looking into each other's eyes? Use your smartphone consciously, please.